I'm lost in darkness, searching for light. Every step forward feels like a fight. Shadows of doubt creep in my mind, but I refuse to surrender. I must find a way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. The weight of the world crushes me down. Fear and uncertainty all around. But I deep find inner strength to face the trials length by length. A way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Through every storm, I'll find my way. Through every night, a brighter day. I'll rise from ashes like a phoenix born. My spirit unbroken, my heart reborn. I've walked through fire and emerged scarred, but wiser, stronger, and unmarred. My existence is a test of will, of trials overcome, of a soul made bold. The weight of the world above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Oh, made bold. Through every storm, I'll find my way. Through every night, a brighter day. I'll rise from ashes like a phoenix born. My spirit unbroken, my spirit unborn. Day to day, nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly, but thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind binds me and I can't escape. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm certain.
Oh, there's still a graphic over us, but not anymore. Hey, hey! Welcome, Dirt Sheet Radio family, one and all, because we are here. It is Dirt Sheet Radio's team covering the AEW 271 Dynamite episode. I am Nick LaRocco, Nick Dynamite, and I am, of course, joined by the one, the only, you missed her. She's been away for a long time, but we've referenced her quite a bit here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mama LaRocco. Thank you for joining us. We also have Tilly here. Yeah. But hey, it's not just us. We also got some of the boys here. In fact, you might remember him from a lot of the comments in most of the episodes. It's my WCW tag team partner. Shoot it on over to Mac.
Hey guys, I'm Mac. I'm not usually here, but I'm on vacation this week because work forgot that I had days off left. So I'll be here tonight, hopefully for the flagship podcast, sometime around maybe after midnight. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. I thought it was an awesome show, but we'll get into that. So I'm going to send it over to my right.
How's it going, guys? It's Caesar hanging out as always with these 1, 2, 3. Holy crap, there's 4 people besides myself this time. Hanging out as always, talking about that good thing called AEW Dynamite. But enough with the intro, enough with this babbling. Nick, let's get this show started.
Absolutely, my man. And hey, what better way to get us started than the ending? Everyone is here to talk about the return of Toni Storm. She is not timeless, though. She is back as the rock star. Toni Storm, it came out during the finale of the Mariah May Marina, I am so sorry, the Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May match. And yeah, that itself was a banger of a match. Those two women just went to hell and back. But guys, timeless Toni Storm is no more. Here's looking at you, kid. Guys, overall, match-wise, return-wise, what did we think of this bout?
I thought it was a little clunky at spots, but and I thought that maybe they should have saved this for World's End. But I thought it was good. I thought they showed like coming out and just like punching each other. They showed a lot of fire, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. You know, because they were kind of together. You know, whatever. But the one thing I wanted to point out was that figure 4 spot when they both rolled out of the ring and landed on the floor and they were still in the figure 4. That looked disgusting. I thought someone was really hurt at that point. But I don't think anybody thought Mina Shirakawa was winning. She hasn't officially signed with AEW yet. She's probably going to be heading back over to Stardom. But yeah, Toni Storm coming out at the end was kind of it kind of brought me back to when Mariah used to dress up as Toni, and I was like, geez, if you put those two side by side, you wouldn't be able to tell who was who. But I'm a big fan of the timeless Toni Storm gimmick. I thought she was kind of bland when she was the rock star, and they had her with like Paige and our Soraya and Ruby Riot. But see what this goes. I kind of had a feeling that Toni was going to come out at the end of the night. I thought she'd come out as timeless, but I guess we have our World's End match.
Oh yeah, you're kind of waiting a little bit to get that timeless Toni Storm reaction. Caesar?
Okay, so the only thing I mentioned in the group chat, but I'll say it, of course, to our viewers here, my gripe with this was the fact that it felt it was like a bit of a rushed ending. Like she also like picked up Mina, dropped her on her head for Storm Zero, and then 1, 2, 3. It felt like it was like, all right, hurry up, let's get it over with. But as for the whole thing with Toni coming back as Toni Storm rather than Timeless, I'm kind of with Mac on this one. I want to see where it goes first. I don't really have an opinion on the whole thing yet, but I mean, it is cool to see her back. I'll give her that. And then of course we got Thunder Rosa trying to get in the mix too. That's what I'm wondering about.
I was enjoying Thunder Rosa with the signs, and I mean,
oh hell yeah!
To your point, Caesar, I was looking at the match times for tonight. Mariah May versus Mina Shirakawa went 11 minutes 5 seconds, which was the second shortest match of tonight. Only the slightest bit longer than Adam Cole Bebe versus Kyle O'Reilly. But Mama Luraco, what did you think of the match?
I had a great time. I totally enjoyed it. I like Mina a lot. I was really rooting for Mina to win, and of course she didn't. Like Matt said, when they rolled out of the ring like that, I'm like, I just went for my knees, like, oh, that's gonna hurt, because it looked like she was gonna fall right on her kneecaps.
Oh, yeah.
And but I liked it because it had that dynamic of the friend betrayal, and them going at it. And both of them have such style and presence. So it's very watchable. And Mariah is just a tremendous heel. And then it just capped off by Toni Storm showing up. I would have liked her coming back as Timeless too, though, I have to say, because it was such a fun, over-the-top character. And I'm going to miss that.
No, absolutely. You yourself, you're a really big fan of classic movies.
Oh, God,
and you're the
yes.
one that got me into a lot of those older movies, like especially the old Universal monster films and things like that. So.
Oh yeah, her character is so much
Nick,
fun.
did you see the sign that that Thunder Rosa had? It said Mariah May, no, she may not.
Oh, yeah.
Thunder Rosa killing with those
that
signs.
was funny, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want her to establish this more into her character in some way.
Yeah.
You can tell too, like the way she's like holding up the signs. Like, we got the picture right here. Her holding up the WTF. Like there was so much meme potential. I guarantee that's what she was going for. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, match wise, I didn't hate this match. It's not something I necessarily loved. You know, you could see like some areas where it kind of felt clunky, like you said, Mac. But honestly, like towards the end, yes, like you said, Caesar, it felt very rushed. But also, I kind of dug that in certain parts because it really added to that sense of urgency between both Mariah and Nina. And it's wild too to see, I guess, Mariah May just being able to still have this push at her young age and to realize that she really is just this global, worldwide star. But sorry, Mariah, the heart and soul Toni Storm is back. But fellas, if we didn't have anything more to throw out there for that main event and the finale, we could take it all the way back to the start.
All right.
All right. Well, hey, this was Dynamite 271. Winter is Coming, live from Kansas City, Missouri's T-Mobile Center. And in fact, we had a couple dark matches tonight. Just go over those really quick. The Dark Order defeated Serpentico and Fuego del Sol.
Ooh.
It was nice to see Fuego come back into the AEW graces. And we had for the probably 100th time in the last 4 or 5 months, Satnam Singh defeated Colt Cabana. Doing something there, but hopefully Satnam's learning from Scotty Boom Boom. But we will get into the opening of the show where it was a tag team match. They got right into the action with Death Riders, Jon Moxley and Pac, taking on Jay White, the Switchblade, and Orange Cassidy, which itself is very much an interesting duo and an interesting dynamic with the Switchblade and OC. And of course, Hangman had to get involved there at the very end of the match, and Orange Cassidy just wasn't having it. But hey, good on Blood Orange for wanting to take it right to the Hangman. Unfortunately, it started to break down at that very end, and you had everyone in the Death Riders getting in there. You had the Hangman, you had Switchblade and OC getting involved. It was a big brawl. It was chaos. Pretty much every type of thing you can imagine. Shout out to Jay White for not being afraid of Marina Shafir, though, and going for her.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was
this was
awesome.
chaos, setting us up for the future, which Moxley himself, I didn't realize they could say it, but Moxley called it a future fatal 4-way. So, guys, this was, again, just chaos and pandemonium. What do we think of this match overall? Caesar?
I was actually enjoying it, actually.
Okay.
Because especially considering,
okay.
you know, Jay White and OC don't team very often. So when you see those kind of tag teams that make you scratch your head, it makes you kind of go, I want to see what this is going to happen with. And we got that. Whether it was like the intro where they were just kind of discussing moves, or as simple as, what was it, that part where Jay White was in the corner for about a little bit of the match being taken down by the Death Riders. But it did keep my interest. And then, of course, Hanger had to get himself involved in, damn it, Hangman, you had to ruin that. But, you know, we'll see what happens with the moments going forward in regards to World's End. Mac?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I didn't expect it to start off the show. I thought that I totally forgot about Mina and Mariah, and I was like, oh, of course that's going to main event, you know. But starting off, this was hot, man. You know, you have Jay White and Orange Cassidy, who don't tag very much, and they're kind of going after the title. So there was a will they cooperate with each other? And for the most part, they did until Jay White made that tag on Orange Cassidy's chest and came in the ring and took out Moxley. I don't know if you noticed, but Jay White knocks down Moxley. And he goes, I got your number. I got your number. And he turns around right into a kick from Pac in the corner. And he goes down like a heap of trash. I just thought that was really, I was like, that's why you don't talk shit. Fuck around and find out. But, yeah, I don't know if you saw during the match, but when Cassidy lost his balance on the barricade when he was punching Moxley, he looked like he was about to crotch himself, and he had to actually jump a little bit like sooner so that he wouldn't fall. And the punch just looked awful because he just lost his balance. But
speaking of balance, there was a point earlier too where, like, while they were outside on that railing, there was that fan that was kind of holding onto his shoe and his ankle, and then they kind of like shook hands right there at the end.
But I really enjoyed this match. I was like, none of these guys can afford a loss right now. Like, you can pin Pac. He doesn't really have much going on right now, but I was kind of expecting Hangman from the beginning. I was like, oh, this has Hangman written all over it.
Yeah.
I think they're telling a good story with the three top contenders beating the shit out of each other while Moxley just sits there and watches on the outside. And, you know, and now it makes total sense because Moxley's like, hey, let's do a fatal 4-way now. and so I can eliminate my top 3 contenders, so they won't be coming after me anymore. That's not a sound strategy because they'll always keep coming after him. But he does have a stake to say, "Hey, I won this fatal 4-way match," which I think he is going to win. And I beat the 3 top contenders. So, yeah, they're out of the picture now.
Johnson.
I did think it was funny that John Moxley called it a fatal 4-way, and then they never referenced that again, ever, because that is a trademark term. We cannot call it that.
Yeah, immediately after I was just thinking to myself, like, is that trademark? Like, is that opened up?
I actually didn't know that it was trademark, so I was sitting there like, oh, whatever, it's a fatal 4-way. Now I didn't know it. Now I know that. Oh shit.
But we also have the wild card looming overhead, literally and figuratively.
Literally.
Christian Cage, the patriarch himself, was watching from afar, and I just in those nosebleeds, I always am getting some severe vertigo. But we're going to talk about some vertigo later. But Mama Laraca, what did you think of the match?
I really had fun time at it because it was utter chaos.
Yeah.
You just didn't know what was going to happen next because, you know, who's going to jump in there next. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Oh, there.
Oh, Tilly really enjoyed it too. She is all about the
wiggly
chaos.
now.
And absolutely too. Like, this was how you set up a 4-way, like with just chaos, everyone having legitimate claims for why they deserve a shot and why, you know, they deserve it over the other guys. And yeah, I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, guys, I really dug the vignette that followed this. I'm glad we have vignettes again. Bandito, once again, making his comeback, the most wanted. Bandito back in town. Look at how jacked he is. Like we said off the air, he basically devoured Hologram. Just riding in the town, ready to go. He beat up 4 outlaws looking for him. Yeah, Bandito had some awesome vignettes, and I can't wait to see how they handle this again. Remember last week, they were hanging up the wanted posters. They're looking for him, so hopefully we get him back soon.
If I'm being honest, I actually like this vignette better than last week's. A lot better. So they did him well with this vignette, especially where he actually had to fight a few guys. So getting more excited.
Yeah, I found it a little bit. I think we talked about it before. I found it a little bit cheesy, but I think overall, like it was good and it accomplished its goal. And dude, he looks amazing. He looks like he ate Hologram. Like he's in the best. He's in the best shape he's ever been in. Like that is a thick boy.
Yeah, and like he's always been jacked, but like when we saw him on this vignette, they really showed off that physique. So
yeah,
look at that. Good on him for keeping himself in shape and getting even more jacked somehow.
And he moves great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Get ready for him to be hoisting someone up vertically for quite some time. But hey, we talked about Christian Cage up in that luxury box, so let's get right into there. Christian Cage was cutting a promo, and he's just complaining about every single person. Is it bad that I was considering the idea of what happens if he cuts his promo and does that mic drop thing everyone does? They just throw the mic, and then he accidentally throws it over. Like, that's going to absolutely obliterate someone. That was in the back of my mind. I didn't think that someone was going to potentially be thrown over, but Christian Cage basically does that thing he does best, where he insults everyone going after him and reminds us that he has that contract. He has, as you reminded us, that was Killswitchosaurus' contract. But you know, he still has it, and he backs away slowly. And in the background, a wild hook has appeared, and I thought this kind of was pretty cool, the way he just kind of broke in there like it's something he's done before, like he's that normal hoodlum, and reaches in there, opens the door, and just goes to town on Christian Cage. And eventually Hook even looks like he's getting ready to throw Christian over the balcony, and he's on that like plexiglass. And you know, plexiglass can be sturdy, it's supposed to be bulletproof, but we've seen videos circulating on social media recently where it's been kind of shattering on people's body weights. So that was
that the Kings game, Nick?
Yes, that was the guy. You know what I'm talking about. And oh my gosh, guys, like that was making my heart sink. I don't know how you guys felt seeing Christian kind of hanging over like that. And shout out to that one dude who was, while Christian was cutting the promo, just on the side with his beer. He was enjoying himself.
Remember, he was Christian was about to tell the crowd to go fuck itself. He was like, go, and then he turned around and he saw Hook.
Exactly. That's when the wild hook appeared. And eventually Christian was saved by Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne arriving, but Hook managed to get away before any damage could be done to him.
His 2 sons.
That was a real fun segment, guys. I want to talk about that.
I got a question for the tables right now. I think I
Yes.
discussed it like a few episodes back, but I'll bring it up every once in a while. So, does the contract that he's holding actually say Christian Cage, or does it say challenger and champion? I wonder, because like, what if like randomly one episode Nick Wayne stole it and signed his name? Could that mean that Nick Wayne could have a contract for a championship match?
I don't know.
That's what I've always been wondering, and it's been in my head ever since the first day he had the
'Cause
contract.
he was basically handed the victory, so
Like, what if tomorrow Neek showed up on Dynamite and stole the contract? Then what?
Well, I mean, when they had the contract and he gave it to Christian, I don't think it would have any one wrestler's name on it.
That's
It
what I'm
just
wondering.
probably,
Right?
yeah, it probably just says, and technically he didn't win it. It was given to him by, Kill Switch. So
yeah.
who knows? They could go any direction with that.
That's what I'm wondering, right? Like I
Plus,
said,
remember when Hangman was there at the last pay-per-view at Full Gear, Hangman almost seemed like he wanted to hold on to it, not really hand it over. So I do
Yeah.
wonder if, like you said, Caesar, maybe that is something that you could just kind of write your name in on if you have possession of it.
Yeah.
well, all we gotta do is wait and see, and we'll find out.
Yes, we'll see, because you know what? Hey, who cares about legalities and bureaucracy? Wrestling logic always trumps it. But hey, we will be getting right into, speaking of wrestling, this was a pure wrestling match if I've ever seen one. Continental Classic Gold League. Will Ospreay taking on Claudio Castagnoli. Woof. This was awesome. From start to finish, bell to bell, we saw it all. We had just, again, like, if you haven't watched this show, please do yourself a favor. When we're done with this recap, go and rewatch Ospreay and Claudio, because spoiler alert, this is probably going to be my match of the night. I loved everything about this match. The finish saw Will Ospreay catching Claudio in a jackknife to score that 1-2-3 victory, and the man has got 3 more points into the Continental Classic. And Claudio, of course, gets absolutely upset and hits Ospreay with the neutralizer, and he wants to get a chair, but Darby Allin runs in and saves the day. Kind of similar to paying it forward, like what Brody King did for him. Now Darby Allin will go face-to-face with Will Ospreay. I believe it'll be going on next week at the Holiday Bash Continental Classic.
Now, can I just say about this match? Excalibur was absolutely terrible during this match. I mean, he couldn't get it. He could not get it. He called Ospreay Fletcher at least 5 times.
No, I remember that. I can agree with that.
He kept saying he kept saying that this was a first time matchup, and it is not. And then Shivani said, "Oh, I don't think it is." And he goes, "Oh no, I'm mistaken. No, it is not a first time matchup."
That hair,
and
though.
then proceeded right after that to call him Fletcher again.
They may have shout out to the
Ospreay?
flashlight.
Oh, that's a meme.
Yeah.
So do we say Coil Ospreay then, or Will Fletcher?
Will Ospreay.
Coil Ospreay,
Well,
the flashlight?
Your audio.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, remember when he put Ospreay in the stairs, and he goes, yeah, Fletcher's fans are called the Fleshlights, and Tony Schiavone goes, I beg your pardon,
Yeah,
dude.
Sorry about
Tony was super babyface announcer in this match, and I love it. I love Tony Schiavone super babyface.
Honestly, I have to say, like, through the whole show, I'd say it was Tony Schiavone and Nigel really carrying commentary, which is unusual to say when you got Excalibur there, because usually he's pretty good, he's pretty on point, but I don't really feel much of anything whenever he was commentating compared to, the fun I have whenever it's Tony Schiavone and Nigel. But those two also work really well together and have great chemistry, so that could also be good.
The 2 things that stuck out in this match was the Spanish Fly to open it was crazy.
Yeah,
That was so great. And the standing corkscrew splash from Ospreay. He's just awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like Will Ospreay absolutely killed it, and so did Claudio. Like, again, this was such a great match, and I'm glad that Ospreay did get this victory, because we've talked about it time and time again over the weeks on this show. Is Ospreay just needs more match victories. I want to be seeing Ospreay dominating the competition. I want to see him dominate this. I want to see him dominate pay-per-view matches. I want to see him basically be the guy that they will build the whole company around, because AEW, and I think I've seen a lot of this online as well, AEW really needs someone that they can just build the company around as their top babyface.
Bruv.
But yeah, we'll roll tide on that one, unless you guys have any other thoughts there.
What did your mom think of it?
Oh yeah, exactly. We got to get the main.
Yeah, you gotta
opinion.
throw in there what you thought of
Oh,
it.
I like both of the guys there,
Ooh.
but I love Osprey. I just the way Osprey
it is.
moves and
There it
flies. Yep, he's one of my favorites.
Oh,
And I like to see when like he's Ricochet.
it's
too.
the hair. It's
It's
the
just
hair.
amazing.
It's gotta be that.
I kind of like the hair actually.
It works for him.
I think it does. It works on him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's
He
great.
looks like that picture looks like he's sad with the haircut that he got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
like the
looks like
bowl
he's
cut.
I feel like
auditioning
that
for, a
picture
boy
has
band.
become more memeable than the Thunder Rosa with the signs.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
they're both already on memes. You
Oh,
know.
Sad Osprey days.
Hashtag.
Sad Osprey.
It kind of reminds me of Mo Howard on the Stooges. It's kind of one
Oh
of
my
those.
goodness,
in a
we're
way.
going this way. I love it.
I absolutely was. But yeah, so getting back to it, we had a little bit more Continental Classic coming on later. But speaking of which, we had one of the other participants in a match later for the Continental Crown, Ricochet, backstage with Renee Paquette. The biggest notes here was the fact that Ricochet was both in his suit and he flashed that card that MVP gave him.
Nick, that wasn't a flash. That was like he stared it down, like he looked into its soul.
Oh yeah. So Ricochet, there's something brewing on in there. Maybe
Just
he's
do it,
doing that
Ricochet.
for-
And get rid of your
think so.
stupid finisher.
Let's get that spirit gun, ready to go, bang bang.
He's like,
Dude, his promos suck.
oh,
my
thank God
they're
Max
so
said it.
bad.
Thank God Max said it.
They're so
This
bad.
is why he needs MVP. He needs someone to cut the promos for
Oh,
him.
dude, he's terrible.
I think I speak for everyone when I say if Ricochet said nothing for his next promo, he'd get like a standing ovation.
Dude, if he had just come in with Renee and he said, "What is your strategy going into this match tonight?" He goes, "My strategy," and he flicked out that card and just went, walked away. I would have been like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." Don't say words.
Don't even.
That would
Just
have said it all. That would have been good.
Or even just be
Words.
like, hey, watch it. And then he just, goes out there and, again, says it all in the ring.
Yeah.
But, which is kind of wild because I felt like Ricochet's promo ability was really prevalent when he first started with AEW, at least.
I'm just gonna say it. Whether it's his promos or his, as he does in the ring, his cred's kind of done.
Glad you
Yeah.
said it.
He lost a little bit of his fire and a little bit of his flair. But you know who had a lot of flair? We heard it from the crowd when he stepped out of that limousine. It was MJF, Maxwell
Ooh.
Jacob
Wow.
Friedman. Right when they saw that ring, they knew the man stepped out looking like $1 million, literally popped that scarf on, and the crowd was going nuts. We were getting ready for that
It's
match. The
MJF,
finale of the
bitch.
Dynamite does, and Adam Cole, Bebe taking on Kyle O'Reilly.
I
What?
was in a sorry, Nick. I was in a Discord
Go on.
chat watching this show, and someone said, like, why do they want the ring? Like, who cares? Like, what's the point of the ring anymore? Yeah, Max only wrestles like 8 times a year, and he uses it in like 6 matches. But big deal. Like, who cares?
Yeah, at this point, like it needs to have like that kind of quality to it where this is the one illegal item that you can always use no matter what, and refs can't do a thing about it.
Yeah.
Let's just
I
get
like the
another
dynamic
belt
of that.
going. How about that?
Ugh, no more belts.
That was the joke.
Oh,
Let's just make a
God.
belt. Forget it.
But hey, speaking of belts, we're going to be talking with Matt Cardona featuring Renee Paquette. Cardona says he belongs in AEW, and he has been busting his butt off for the last 5 years trying to reinvent himself, and he's ready for the biggest match of his career as he takes on Chris Jericho at Final Battle. But he also challenges bounty hunter Bad Apple Brian Keith to a match on Rampage. And I'm excited for this just because I hope we get to hear that awesome theme song for Brian Keith that has only played a single time on Rampage before, but it's a banger. And it's cool to see Matt Cardona back here on AEW. His last time, what was it, like during the pandemic or right?
Yeah,
at the
it
very-
was.
yeah.
Daily
2021. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice to be able to see Cardona back here on a major wrestling promotion, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
No one's getting screwed over in the end.
His theme is awesome.
Going from the Hammerstein back to some people that have wrestled there before. Adam Cole, Bebe, Coleslaw takes on KOR, Kyle O'Reilly.
O'Reilly's from my hood. Let's go.
Yes, this was actually the shortest match tonight, being about 10 minutes and 50 seconds. This was the Dynamite Dozen 2024 finale. Both these guys won the Battle Royal last week. And hey, thank you, Mr. Twin Hayes. Shout out to Mama Laraco. And don't forget about Queen Tilly. But Adam Cole Bebe secures the victory and is able to take on MJF at World's End for that Dynamite Diamond Ring. Fellas, before we get to the match itself, I got to ask, do you think this is going to be the moment that someone takes the ring from MJF, or is this just going to be year 6 for him?
I mean, I think the ring is synonymous with MJF. I don't think, I mean, I wouldn't give a shit if Cole had it. Like, if Cole walked out and he's like, yeah, I got the ring, like, so what? Max is just going to take it back at some point, so what?
I 100% agree with Mac on this one, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if you saw like Cole's hand on the door, it wouldn't have been the same.
No, absolutely not. You know, like, MJF is synonymous with the ring.
It's the swagger, too.
Yeah. But, Nick, you forgot.
Ooh.
Kyle O'Reilly was shown backstage before this match with Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. And they, Matt Taven. And O'Reilly basically said, he goes, you know, we don't have to do this, blah, 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 blah. We know it's going down, but it's unnecessary. And he goes, yeah, it would have been unnecessary if you could have protected one of the members of our family.
Ooh.
Talking about Roderick Strong, who got Pillmanized at the pay-per-view.
And we haven't seen Body since.
Nope.
But before we jump back into the match itself, Mama Laraco, what do you think is going to be happening at World's End? Do you think it's going to be Adam Coleslaw taking on that Diamond Ring, or do you think it's going to stay with MJF for year 6?
Actually, in a way, I don't care either. But I like the possibility that it opens up, more storylines. It might make things interesting just because it's not okay. The same old thing's going to happen again. And then when they're going to switch from good to bad, I just kind of like the possibility of different storylines coming up.
The ring really hasn't been synonymous other than maybe 1 or 2 times, other than the dog collar match with CM Punk and MJF from Revolution 2022, where Wardlow took it out of his pocket and put it in the ring, and Punk used it to win the match. I mean, I know that Cole has used it on Daniel Garcia and he's used it on Cole one time, but other than that, they really haven't made it feel special. So it's like, if you don't keep this in the viewer's mind and you don't make it a prevalent thing on television, nobody's going to give a shit. When I saw the banner for the thing last week, I was just like, oh, they're still doing this? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What if they switched it from a diamond ring to something else?
How about just don't do it anymore?
I mean, no, we'll do the diamond. Oh my goodness, do the battle royale still, sure, but not a diamond.
Do the battle royal. Do a battle royal every year around this time for a TNT title shot.
Great, done.
Yeah. Make it a title shot. That's
Go to World's
End. That was what the original
End.
concept for the battle royal was, anyways.
Do a battle royal. Have the two guys in the match fight in a singles match, and then at the pay-per-view, they fight MJF for a TNT title shot, or whoever, or Daniel Garcia for a title shot, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, this ring is kind of like, oh, cool. Look at this flashy bling on my hand.
Get that bling bling going.
Yeah.
But getting back to the match itself, I wanted to say, the match itself I thought was pretty dang good. You got 2 established veterans, 2 guys that have a lot of history together, inside and outside of the ring, and the match ends, and I kind of felt bad for these guys because it felt like at certain parts the crowd started to really not care, and I think they were too focused on when's MJF coming in. We know he's going to be here. We saw him earlier.
Yeah.
I think that was almost a mistake to air MJF walking out.
Yeah,
right before this. I think they should have either had that interrupt the match, or maybe had MJF, come out and watch it, like how he tends to just sit there all arrogantly and smug to, just kind of get a grasp for who his opponent could potentially be. But, after the match, MJF tried to come in at the end and interfere. What's up, Mac?
They have a lot of chemistry. When I was at Hammerstein Ballroom in 2012, they had a hybrid rules match, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. And the rules were really weird. It was like no no closed fist striking, whatever. And the crowd was just shitting all over it. And then in the middle of the match, you can see these two just go, fuck it. And they just started beating the shit out of each other for real. Adam Cole lost a couple teeth. I don't know if you've ever seen the picture of him standing in the ring yelling and his mouth is all covered in blood. I was in the balcony for that match, and that completely made both of their careers. I'm not even joking. That literally put them both world title, like upper echelon, like Ring of Honor for the rest of their career. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly went on to be Ring of Honor champion, multiple-time tag team champion. Adam Cole, multiple-time world champion. Like, that was the match that really set them off. So when I saw this match tonight, you know, I mean, it has been 12 years since that match, almost 13. But I was a little disappointed that we didn't get the old Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole of old, because they have such good chemistry with each other and they know each other. They're former tag partners. Best friends in real life, you know. So it was kind of disappointing, especially with the MJF interference, like you said. But anytime you get Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly in the ring, it's going to be magic. But this fell a little bit short for me. I would say it was a B-.
Yeah, no, that's an absolutely fair rating. And honestly, it felt almost like maybe they're saving a little something for a rematch down the road, because it didn't feel like they really were going all in for this. And, you know, I'm looking at, too, like, you know, the finish. We had MJF finally coming out and trying to interfere, but he takes a coleslaw super kick, and Cole almost being distracted by MJF, almost got pinned by Kyle O'Reilly, but O'Reilly got countered, and Coleslaw gets that pinfall victory. MJF stares Cole down from the crowd before he leaves, and the Kingdom makes their way out to congratulate Cole, but O'Reilly just doesn't want any part of this and leaves without shaking Adam Cole's hand. You know, like you said, Mac, it felt like they really didn't give it their all for what we're used to with these two guys in particular, and I do personally, like I mentioned earlier, I think this might be leading to a little something more. I don't know if you think that at all.
You know, I just kind of like you guys, it seemed like they showed MJF, and that's what the crowd wanted, and it teased them that there was going to be more, and the crowd just didn't, you know, give the two guys in the ring, you know, the attention they deserve, because they did put on a real good show. They always do.
Yeah.
Can I just say that Michael Bennett doesn't watch the show, because right before the match, when they were talking to Kyle O'Reilly backstage, he goes, "What are you guys fighting over? A guy who doesn't even show up to work?" I'm like, "No, Mike, he's here. We just saw him. Like, where were you? Are you not watching the show?"
Catering.
Yeah.
Just filling up his plate. Caesar?
Yeah, everyone else basically has said everything that needs to be said about this. It was what it was. It did what it did. And hey, look, MJF showed up. So we'll see what happens at World's End. Whether anything does happen and whether anyone's excited to see it happen. So that's all I got on that one.
Hey, speaking of excitement, we had FTR on there hyping up Fight for the Fallen, and it's going to be a banger of a match. They're going to be challenging the Death Riders at Fight for the Fallen, and hey, if they have any type of problem with that, they can go and speak to them personally on Collisions. I believe on this past Collision, I believe it was, FTR was talking about this very thing until their promo got interrupted because they captured Orange Cassidy, the Death Riders did, and they were trying to pour some sort of disinfectant substance into his mouth before FTR stepped up and said, "Hey, we've never had a problem with you guys before, but now we do, so back off."
Nick, does that remind you of the Colt Cabana Drano spot from 2006 Ring of Honor?
Yes.
Throwback.
With Homicide?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought because they literally called it Drano in Ring of Honor, but they weren't on TV back then or anything. They were just strictly DVD. So they're just calling this like chemicals. They can't call it Windex or for our Simpsons fans out there, Windew.
Oh my goodness. I'll take it.
Go Team Clorox.
Yeah.
Woo! Tide Pods.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Gross.
Everyone at home. No, don't do that. We at Dirt Sheet Radio do not.
Yeah, we at Dirt Sheet Radio do not condemn eating Tide Pods. Do not eat Tide Pods.
Do not do that. Do not down any type of substance that you see them.
I'm just not going to say anything about
AEW
speech. I'm just going to sit here.
Especially don't down any type of substance that is being discussed by Chris Jericho and the Bad Apple Brian Keith, because they are backstage and it is breaking news. Hi, guys. Jericho accepts Matt Cardona's challenge, but he accepts the challenge for Brian Keith on Rampage. And Jericho will also be there to sign a contract for the final battle match on Ring of Honor, exclusive on Honor Club. Guys, are we looking forward to that match at all? Cardona and Jericho?
I mean, I would have if I had a better chance of going, but now that I'm not, so I'm just like, I don't know. Who knows? You know? Like, listen, I like disappointed in possibly not being able to go to Final Battle. But right when they mentioned that Cardona was in the main event and it wasn't somebody synonymous with Ring of Honor like Christopher Daniels or returning Samoa Joe or something like that, I was just like, I don't give a shit about Matt Cardona. I really don't. And I don't care. I don't watch GCW. I don't watch him in the Indies or Hog or wherever else he's at. Like, I just don't care. And it just feels cold. You know, like it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, Matt Cardona won the Ring of Honor world title. Like, okay, I'm still not interested in Ring of Honor, like outside of the major pay-per-views, you know? Like, that's not going to make me watch the show on Honor Club, even though I do sometimes when I get bored. But, like, if I saw Matt Cardona advertised with the belt on Ring of Honor, like, oh, his championship celebration, that's not going to make me go and want to watch it anymore, you know?
Right.
But, no, I mean, I just don't care about Matt Cardona. Like I said, if it was Samoa Joe, I'd do everything in my power to get there. But none of these matches really appeal to me. Like Red Velvet and Layla Hirsch. Like, I already saw them in a death match last year. Like, you know, yeah. And Dustin Rhodes and Guevara versus the Righteous in a Texas bunkhouse, whatever. Like,
add 6 more words to the title.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Yeah, it's rough to care. I mean, it's really cool that we see Matt Cardona again. I feel like they should have done something more with that and not just all of a sudden slot him into the Ring of Honor world title picture, especially
since he's never been in Ring of Honor before, not even Ring of Honor proper, like, you know. I mean, I do like that.
It feels like someone that would have been there at some point, especially when they're later years, but
he's stuck later.
He was supposed to face Ricky Starks at the GCW show in New York before Ricky Starks got pulled. I do kind of like that tie-in. He's still going to wrestle, you know, and he's wrestling for a company that's owned by the guy that pulled him. So, you know, that's the only intriguing part.
Yeah. Ooh, what if that's where the potential lies, and that's where they insert Starks and pick something up there, and then Tony Khan just has Starks and Cardona.
Oh, God.
If that happens, I'm going to be so unimpressed that Nick's calling it right now.
It's the shade of it all.
All of a sudden, live at the show, it's like, oh, it happened. Nick called it. Great.
I manifested it.
Ah!
But getting back to it, Tony Schiavone was backstage talking with Darby Allin. This was a pre-tape from earlier in the night. Darby Allin is basically saying that he is confirming that he is going to take that AEW world title by any means necessary from Jon Moxley, and it's not over. And he wants all of the younger wrestlers that maybe never had another company like an AEW come up in their lifetime, or maybe this is the one chance that they have. He wants all of those wrestlers to step up and do something against the Death Riders. And Darby freaking punches himself in the face, busting his lip open. Yeah, Darby Allin bleeding during a promo. It sure is Nature Boy in here.
Oh, yeah. I thought it might have been a blood capsule.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
it's a boo-boo.
Yeah, and then he broke it, but it doesn't matter. It's still effective. Darby's winning that title. None of those guys in the four-way at World's End is winning. He's taken the title off of Jon Moxley. It's been the prophecy since he lost the title match at Grand Slam. So it's happening.
Plus, imagine how cool that's going to be. Darby, funded by Tony Hawk, climbing Mount Everest with the World Championship.
Yep.
Book it.
Planting an AEW flag in the top of Mount Everest.
Exactly. AEW flag in one hand, the world title in the other on top of Mount Everest, funded by Tony Hawk. Like, that is.
But you better keep it in that briefcase, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, for the trip, he better just keep it in the briefcase and have it like handcuffed. Because imagine, too, how cold that title's going to get when you're at the peak of Mount Everest.
Oh, yeah. Tony better make some replicas.
Yeah, right. But getting on to the Continental Classic Gold League match, Ricochet took on Big Brody King. Contrasting styles here, but honestly, it was a lot of fun to see these two go up against one another. As the match went on, the crowd continued just turning on Ricochet. It was
big time.
Yeah, it was unusual, but yeah, crowd wasn't having it by the very end, and Ricochet was using that exposed turnbuckle from earlier in the night against Brody. Crowd really didn't like that, and Ricochet bop with spirit guns, and he gets that victory. Great match. I really enjoyed, like I said, that contrast of styles, but overall, it was surprising to see the crowd turn on Ricochet.
Yeah, he did.
Dude, the way that
I'm just gonna say, like, I was gonna say to my buddy online, Brody should have won, and Ricochet's stupid squirt gun needs to take a hike. That's all I've got on this one.
Was it that Ed and Eddie called him the Canadian squirt gun?
So the one thing that I took away from this match is when Ricochet was chopping Brody and he was no-selling the chops. And I was like,
Right?
oh, no, dude. I was like, oh, no. And then when Ricochet actually hit the 450 and Brody just grabbed him by his neck, like big style, he was just like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I like this match. I royally wanted Brody to win. The crowd was getting behind Brody. They were really shitting on everything that Ricochet was doing.
You were barking.
Yeah, I just don't, I don't know, man. Like, Ricochet's never, like, really connected with me. Like, Will Ospreay back in, like, 2016, 2017 really never connected with me either. But when he stopped doing all of the flippy shit and, like, really got, like, put on some pounds and started doing some more grounding moves, but mixing them with flippy stuff, you know, like, that's when I really started to like him. I think, and I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I think that Ricochet is a one-trick pony. I just think he's a flippy guy. I don't think he really, you know, other than that spinning, what is it? The spinning reverse DDT that he has. I forget what he calls it, but I'm not a huge fan of just guys just bouncing all over the ring. You know, I mean, I know in a match with like Brody King, you really have to stay on top of him and you can't match strength with him. But Ricochet just seems to do it in every match. Like his strategy never switches up once ever, and kind of gets annoying.
Yeah, I mean, to that point too, it feels like Ricochet, like you said, is kind of that one-trick pony, and it feels like he's over-reliant on the flippy stuff. And we've seen him; he's utilized power, he's utilized mat grappling before. He should implement a lot more of that in his repertoire. But you know, Brody King Ricochet, what do you think of the match, Mama Larocco?
Well, I do. I have to say I enjoy watching the flippy stuff just because I like to watch it. And however, I think Brody should have won it. I think he just held back, and he should have won it.
Absolutely fair. And it seemed like the crowd agreed there. The crowd was doing the bark,
Definitely.
the Brody bark. Everyone was getting behind him. It almost felt in its own way like a double turn. If we didn't see Brody King doing face stuff leading into this last couple weeks.
I think Brody really standing up for Darby when Claudio was going to come in and step on his face with a chair. I think that really was like, the crowd was kind of like, we like Brody, but he's in the House of Black. We're not supposed to like him. And then when he stood up for Darby, the guy that he's been kicking the shit out of for like 8 years, and showed respect. And, you know, when they shook hands in their pay-per-view match last year, you know, like people are like, all right, yeah, we're fully on board now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And one thing I will say, with the crowd turning on Ricochet, I think this is absolutely going to go a long way for them if they are going to indeed put him with Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
So they do have that benefit.
Absolutely.
But following this, this is another Excalibur mistake tonight. He said, hey, we're going to go backstage to Action Andretti and Lio Rush, but instead waiting there was Private Party with the tag titles.
Yeah. Good job.
Everyone has an off night. Everyone gets one.
In their stupid Bebop and Rocksteady jackets.
Wait, everyone gets one?
Jacket.
Excalibur had like 20.
Yeah,
they're basically
Excalibur
cosplaying, to all you Yu-Gi-Oh players out there, they're basically cosplaying the Crush Card virus.
I hate those jackets.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I want to sneak behind them and like torch one.
But we are getting Action Andretti and Lio Rush versus Top Flight. So,
and guess who was excited for that?
Yes, because Action Andretti and Leo Rush stepped up, like Excalibur said they would at some point. And then we also had Layla Gray
Yeah!
separating things with
Yeah, Layla.
the Martin brothers walking up there. Top flight, let's go. This is going to be
Best part
great
of
to
the
see.
segment right there.
Yes, Layla Gray suggesting that Top Flight should get involved, and we're going to have a standoff between these two teams, former allies, taking each other on. There's already precedence for this. They've been having a lot of arguments over the last couple months.
Yeah.
And on top of that, remember, Andretti and Leo Rush dressed differently in the Battle Royal, and they both eliminated the Martin brothers in the Battle Royal. So
A lot of infighting there.
lots of infighting, indeed. But moving on, we had Anna Jay and Mercedes Moné
I
backstage
was
with
so
Renee Paquette.
happy, thinking there
They
wasn't going to be
agreed
any
to a
Mercedes
ceasefire.
moments.
You just live for these, don't you?
Oh, I was so thrilled because you can tell
Mercedes not knowing where they were was kind of funny.
I dug that.
she's naturally just dumb that way. It's not even a character. Just dumb.
But, who's not dumb? Renee Paquette, because Renee was citing that this was Mercedes' 200th day as the TBS champion. Renee does have a lot of respect for Anna Jay, and she appreciates the fact that Anna went to Japan just like she did, and she appreciates the fact that Anna was doing all of this at the age of 26, but when Renee was 26, she was already a multi-time world champion.
Yeah, hot
Yeah.
potatoing a belt with her and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, not even one title defense between those five, between holding them 5 times.
The only defense
What
was
defense
like her
is that
holding the
of?
belt like this. That's it.
It's just the MJF strat. What are you talking about?
No, but MJF is entertaining though.
And Anna Jay says Mercedes is a living legend, and she admires her and all that she's done in her career.
Ugh.
Jay says that she's going into the match knowing she's an underdog, but knows that Mercedes is going to most likely underestimate her, and Anna Jay is going to shock the world and become the new TBS champion.
Please just put the belt on her.
Mercedes is very pretty. That's all I'll say.
For Mercedes Moné. No,
I just want to see. I just want to see.
you heard it.
I
Your
got
mom was
nothing.
just like, you were like, you got anything? And your mom was like, no.
She's like, I see the door opening.
yeah, yeah.
How about Anna Jay?
Oh, I like Anna Jay. I like Mercedes in her way. She adds to the story. You got to have both sides. I liked her as
What I'll say
Sasha
about
Banks a little
Mercedes,
more.
what I'll say about Mercedes is that she was very well hidden by the WWE machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
she's somebody, like, don't get me wrong, I think she's talented and I like seeing her, but she needs a like WWE production team, like 10 producers, 10 directors, for her to come across as natural. And
Just
I don't
go
think
back.
I don't think AEW has the producing power or the experience that somebody backstage like a Michael Hayes or like a Paul Heyman has,
Or just
where
go
they
back.
could
Yeah.
they could make her like look at Sasha Banks compared to Mercedes Moné. Like, Sasha Banks actually had like charisma and she can speak in WWE, and then all of a sudden she gets on the indies and she's just like, hi! I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, no, Mac's not wrong on that one.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It feels like there's just such a divide from Mercedes and Sasha.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed Sasha Banks.
All I know is the moment I saw her debut in Japan and she tried hitting her whatever it's called finisher, I haven't taken
And
her
she
seriously
missed.
on the indies.
She stopped doing that though. She doesn't do it anymore.
No,
She
but
does
that she had that
yeah.
one shot and she
Yeah.
screwed it up.
Oh yeah, she did it on Kyrie at the Wrestle Kingdom, and she screwed it up.
Horribly.
Yeah,
So
she hit it once on triple threat match in New Japan Strong. I forget who it was against. I think it might have been Azumi, and she nailed it. And then the next time she did it again, she messed it up.
yeah,
And she was like,
1 out of 1,000
yeah, she's like, nope, I'm doing the bank statement from now on.
or whatever they call it now.
Yeah, I don't remember what they call it.
She should
So,
just
hey,
go back.
we're going to be taken to the bank. We're going to be taken to the bank this episode of AEW Dynamite 271, unless I forgot anything.
I don't think you did.
All right, hey, we
That
got
went pretty
through
good.
another full episode of Dynamite. This was the 271st episode, and guys, I think overall it wasn't a bad episode. go do yourself a favor, watch this, especially those Continental Classic matches. If you haven't seen it yet, after we're done on this recap, while you're waiting for us to get going with the Dirt Sheet Radio flagship podcast. But before we wrap it up here, we have some segments to go over. So, guys, are you ready?
Yeah.
Jobber of the Night, brought to you by comicbookclick.com. Go get the latest and greatest in all of nerd culture, news, trivia, writings, etc., on comicbookclick.com. And it's going to be tough to look for a jobber tonight because, quite frankly, I think a lot of people.
I think I know who Caesar's jobber is.
It's not who you think, but
okay.
Ooh, all right. Well, hey, we'll go with the special guests first. So, Mama Larocco.
I'm going to say Brody because I think he had so much and they held him back.
Absolutely fair. Mac?
I'm going to unfortunately go with Kyle O'Reilly. I just think him, I don't know, there's just something off about him right now. Cole doesn't look like the Cole from before he got injured. And especially since I've been going back and watching a lot of Ring of Honor from like 2016, 2017. Yeah, they're just not the same guys. And it could be wear and tear and they could be getting older and but Kyle I love how he's so smooth and he transitions from move to move. Like he's like water in the ring, but this whole time he's just been like, hey, you're getting our friends hurt and blah, 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 blah. And, he's speaking truth to reason. And it's kind of like he's getting beat every week. And it's like, no, he's right. Like, he's fighting for something, but he just keeps losing. And he just looks like a jobber. So he's my jobber of the night.
Absolutely fair. Either?
Mine is, if you want to use the term easy way out, but if us as viewers can't connect with a certain person, it's almost like, what do you do? And I'm going to say Ricochet. Whether it's his weird spirit squirt gun, whether it's his, he'll do a move and no one wants to connect with him, whether it's him talking and all of us saying that he should have had a 5-word promo, you can't, I don't know. There's something you got to do. And maybe the truth is put him with MVP and let MVP sell the shit out of him. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
So absolutely. And, for my jobber of the night, this is tough. You guys all brought up a lot of very good points, but I'm gonna have to say Mercedes Moné. I just really didn't feel a single thing.
I
didn't feel a single thing from her promo. She looked amazing. She looked really incredible.
Yeah,
but
she always looks pretty good.
Yeah, but
sorry.
From the promo itself, nothing about it made me really excited for her and Anna Jay. But, of course, we flip that coin, and we'll be going from the Jobber of the Night to the Megastar of the Night, powered by the Cold Case Project. It's a channel on YouTube that focuses on all kinds of disappearances, murders, and other cold cases. And guess what? You can also get the audio format on Spotify. So we'll be going in reverse order here, so I will be going first. Ha ha, hee hee. This was my plan all along. The Megastar of the Night. I got to go with... this is a tough one. Not really. Toni Storm. She's back, and it's so nice to be able to see her again. I just want to take a moment of silence, please. Please, everyone, a moment of silence for timeless Toni Storm. But yes, getting on there. Now in this order, yes, there she is. It's nice to see her back. It was cool to see the rock star.
She looks great.
She does. Mm-hmm. Absolutely incredible. So I'm glad she's back. What a way to end the show. It did feel rushed, but again,
no, the match felt rushed, not her coming back.
Well, because Toni kept saying, "Oh, we have an overrun, folks, tonight."
Yeah, take full advantage of the overrun.
Yeah, go 10 minutes. Who gives a shit?
Go 11.
Ooh. Yeah,
the network loves you. They're giving you hours of TV constantly.
Guys, it's been 4 hours. A little bit overrun's okay.
That'll happen.
If we're going in reverse order, I guess that means me. I'm going to give it to this man because whenever he steps in the ring, no matter who his opponent is, and his man of his stature and size, and some of the shit he does, makes you think he's like a cruiserweight, but he's built like a brick shithouse. And I'm saying Brody King.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, whether he's doing his roll into the corner, or he's just doing some shit to completely manhandle somebody. that man can go. And of course, like we all pointed out earlier, whenever he's in the ring, the crowd is barking, screaming, yelling, whatevering. So,
Yeah.
kudos, Brody. Mac?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I was going to go with Will Ospreay, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with Claudio. When he came out through the crowd, Tony made mention that he is a 19-year veteran, and next year will be 20 years of Claudio Castagnoli throughout CZW, Ring of Honor, PWG, WWE, AEW, IWA, Chikara. He's been everywhere. The guy is not slowed down. Like, I was watching El Generico versus Claudio, top of the class, 2007, the other day for Ring of Honor. And I watched this match tonight, and the man just doesn't miss a step. Like, he was going toe-to-toe with El Generico in 2007, prime El Generico.
Yeah.
Now he's going toe-to-toe with Will Ospreay and prime Will Ospreay in 2024, and he just doesn't miss a beat. Like, the guy is 6'9", 6'10", and he moves around like he's, like Paul London in his prime. I can't say anything bad about Claudio. I don't necessarily like his character right now. I mean, it needs to be fleshed out a little bit more, and then I think I'll like it. But other than that, his in-ring work is just flawless, and it's sad because, like, when you had Chris Hero and his in-ring career ended, people would go, "Oh man, Chris Hero is one of the most underrated wrestlers ever," and I was like, well, yeah, and people say now they still go, Claudio's an underrated wrestler. And I was like, no. Appreciate him. Watch his matches now so you don't have to say that when his career is over. You can say, oh, he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Absolutely. And I love everything he does. He's just so great. Like, he's definitely, if I had to put a list together of my 20 favorite wrestlers of all time, he's definitely in my, I'm 42. I go back to WrestleMania 8. My first match I ever saw with Bret Hart and Roddy Piper for the Intercontinental title. The suplex spot where they fall backwards, and everybody uses that now. And Claudio, from there to here, is definitely in my top 20.
Oh, well said. Great points. All right, Mega Star of the Night, Mama Larago.
I was also going to say Ospreay because I just love the way he turns everything around. And when it looks like he's going to lose, yes, the haircut.
Incoming Backstreet Boys theme song.
Every time it looks like he's going to lose, the way he turns it around, and he looks hopeless, but then he turns it around, and I love it, and I love everything.
Think about the start of the match, right into the Spanish Fly, like that was wild.
But
and remember, Mama Laraco, he's doing all of this with a Mo Howard haircut.
Yes. And I don't know. I'm going to say Toni Storm, but just because I loved her appearance and just, I don't know. The whole match at the end, the main event came to life for me. I wanted to see the fight between Mina and Mariah, and then her making her appearance and the sides. It was just a lot of fun for me. So I would say I was just so happy to see Toni Storm come back.
All right.
Yes. Toni Storm here. I'm sure, Tilly, you also will agree with that. Yes, Tilly Storm. But then, of course, we followed that up with our finale, the Match of the Night, powered by all the Delphin Pod shows. There's a ton of amazing podcasts there, and the most important podcast of them all, the Dirt Sheet Radio podcast. Hey, stick around in a couple hours. You might be catching one of those live. But now in the reverse order, ladies first, we'll be looking at the match of the night. What did you think, Mama
I
Rocco?
kind of mentioned it in my last one. I enjoyed the last match just because it had so much. That would have been mine.
Mina and Mariah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Mac?
Yeah, it's Claudio and Will Ospreay. Like, you can't get any better than that. Just athleticism, talent, aura, overall presentation, just because you look at that match on paper and you look at the graphic like a week before, and I was just like, wow, like this match is going to kick ass. I don't even know how much ass it's going to kick, but it's going to be a lot of asses. And then when you get there and you're watching it, you're like, kicked so much more ass than I thought it was, and there was a plethora of asses that I thought it was going to kick. But yeah, I loved it. I love Claudio. I love Will Ospreay. I love AEW. It was great.
Absolutely. Caesar?
Yeah, Mac, I'm on the same page as him. Ever since the moment I saw the graphic for the two of them going for a match, I was just like, this is going to be something to watch. And then, of course, when the match itself came, you have, Claudio being a moving mattress and Ospreay being able to do anything from ground attacks to flippy flips. It worked out pretty well. Am I bummed that it's over? Yes. But thankfully, we can probably get another one down the road. So, yeah, that's my match of the night. But of course, Neek, you are the last one.
Yeah, I mean, I might be going last, but I'm gonna go with that first match, tag match. Death Riders taking on Jay White and Orange Cassidy. What strange bedfellows with Jay White and Orange Cassidy, and it started with chaos and it ended with chaos. There was so much happening from start to finish, and it was again like a fantastic way to set up for what John Moxley Illegal League described as a fatal four-way. So I'm looking forward to that four-way match at World's End. It's going to be great. But this match in particular was awesome. Hey, look who it is. It's John Escudero.
Hi, I like wrestling. I wanted to give a match of the night because I was watching Dynamite and I thought Ricochet and Brody King did a fantastic job at bringing that crowd back to life after Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly killed them dead. It's sad that it happened that way, but I was kind of thinking while Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly were wrestling, I was like, man, does this crowd suck? And then Ricochet and Brody King were like wrestling, and the crowd was on their feet the whole fucking time. So I was like, oh fuck, that Adam Cole match was just really sucked. But
not the crowd.
Yeah, good stuff. I just wanted to chime in real fast before we all go home.
Hey, John, if you like wrestling so much, why don't you make a website in a wrestling empire, huh?
Ooh.
I gotta look into that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, hey, maybe we can do a podcast after this. We'll see.
Maybe have a Facebook page
maybe.
about it.
Yeah, maybe I'll stay up way past my bedtime so that my dog is up during the day when I'm trying to sleep tomorrow.
Genius.
What,
Imagine
dog
having
being up when we're
coffee.
trying to sleep? What?
Yeah.
But hey, chat, thank you so much for joining us. Again, this was Dynamite 271. And if you enjoyed hanging out with us here, guess what? This is Dirt Sheet Radio. We are always on. Ooh, you hear that rock song in the background?
What is that?
Yo, that's Laura the Fighter. That's part of a two-part series by Saskia Creations. Go and listen to that on YouTube and the Spotify and wherever you want to catch your amazing music tracks. But while we're jamming out to that, let's go and take a look-see here at what Dirt Sheet Radio is going to be having on through the week. We, of course, are going to be having the Monday Night Raw post-show. Yep. And hey, guess what? The next day, boom, NXT. Guess what? You're already here. This is AEW Dynamite. Come and join us next week. We're going to be talking all about AEW. You can't see it, but John's jamming out in the background. And hey, he's going to continue to jam when later tonight it's going to be me. It's going to be John. It's going to be our boy Greg. And it's going to be Mac right here in the flesh, talking all about professional wrestling and the last week in wrestling news. Of course, you got Thursday TNA Impact. That's a great show. It's been really picking up steam lately. And speaking of picking up steam,
Friday Night SmackDown.
Friday Night SmackDown, baby. Let's go. Blue Brand represent. And we also will be seeing CJ and Tyler at some point. They're going to be discussing and figuring out what they're going to talk about wrestling-wise. We also got the boys on 3NT. They're going to be always talking about professional wrestling. And last month, myself, Mac, and our boy Robbie were talking all about Halloween Havoc 1998. And guess what? On Friday, we're going to be going back another year. This time, we're going to be talking all about Starrcade 1997. This could have absolutely been the apex, the pinnacle, the grand finale, so to speak, for the NWO versus WCW storyline. You had Sting, the Crow, representing World Championship Wrestling, taking on Hollywood Hulk Hogan of the NWO. Lots of controversy associated with this. Myself, Mac, and any of our other boys that want to join us are always welcome, and we're going to be talking all about Starrcade 97, all the trivia, all of the backstage shenanigans, all of the news leading up and leading out from the event. But yes, go and check that out. We'll be doing that Friday right before SmackDown.
Hey, Nick, one more thing, too.
Yes.
Dynamite only needs 18 more episodes to pass Nitro for the longest running wrestling on TBS and TNT, and fuck Eric Bischoff.
Hey, you heard it. But also, guys, if you enjoyed hanging out with us, You know where to find us all throughout the Dirt Sheet Radio. Hey, you're on the Dirt Sheet Radio Facebook page. Go and see. Oh, nothing popped up. I don't see a single thing on here.
It says F. Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, well, hey, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a fantastic show. Shout out to Mac and Mama Laranco for joining us. Thank you, chat, for joining us, and we will see you next time. Have a great week.